The Elden Ring DLC is just under a month away, and everyone's been getting ready for the Shadow of the Erdtree. Now, if you've not played Elden Ring after the first time, your first playthrough save is probably on NG+, which means the enemies and bosses will be a lot harder than normal. While this isn't a huge problem, I thought it'd be helpful to do a little speedrun to explore how quickly I could get a fresh character made and prepped to head into the DLC while doing the bare minimum. What we know about the DLC with certainty is that we will have to beat Mohg. The access point, according to FromSoft developers, will be making contact with the egg that houses Miquella. While this was largely expected, we've also learned that we will have to kill Radahn, according to developer interviews. Elden Ring is a huge game with a variety of builds and variations, which can get overwhelming at times. To showcase how easy it is to get a fresh character ready to enter the DLC, I decided to do this only with a starter class and leave the choice of build up to you. The run will have two major rules. 1. No glitches. The run will be completely glitchless and not use any skips or exploits. And 2. Only starter equipment. I won't switch away from my starting class equipment in terms of armor and weapons. I will also not be using any extra buffs other than consumables. Before we get into the video, I do want to remind everyone that this is just meant to be a speedrun to get to the DLC entry as soon as possible. I do recommend using this as a skeleton on how to get to the entrance optimally, but feel free to explore and use your own builds and play as much of the rest of the game as you feel like playing. And as always, if you enjoy the content, please do like and subscribe. To start with, I'll be getting the first half of the Dectus Medallion from Fort Height. We get the Dectus Medallions to access the Dectus Elevator to go up to Altus Plateau. Getting a Grace at Altus is one of the ways to trigger the Radahn fight, which as previously mentioned we will need for the DLC. Make sure to get this Grace outside the fort for later. When people like play Minecraft and they make those YouTube videos, I played hardcore Minecraft for 7 years. You won't believe what happened. Then, I proceed to Fort Faroth in Caelid for the second half of the medallion. We'll also use this Grace to travel to Radahn later. It's kind of crazy that I still like golded, I guess. Because I'm doing pivot teleports. Once we get the medallion halves, it's time to enter Liurnia and head straight to the Dectus Elevator. Tree! Fucking tree! Tree! Squirrel! Liurnia has a lot of smithing stone 2s, which we need. I buy 3 of them from this merchant at the start, and I'll be collecting the rest later in the run. We want to get the South Rail Lucaria Gate Grace as well for later on. Why they call him 22nd Ainrun? Oh, is that why? Oh. Once we get to Altus, I head to the Seal Tunnel to get the Smithing Stone Bell Bearing 2. This gives us +3 and +4 smithing stones that we'll use to level our weapon to a +12. This isn't necessary at all and is based on your build, but I just grab it since it simplifies things. Next, it's off to Caelid again to fight Radahn. I have an extra bleed grease, which, I mean, I could use it on Mohg. But to be honest, I'm probably not gonna get a chance to use the grease. I don't know. Radahn should be okay. You know? They're a noob, of course. All right, good Radahn RNG, please. Did I set up my... No, I didn't set up my physics. For Radahn, I use summons to speed up the fight because of my weaker early game build. It's tragic. I mean, I don't think it like really matters for this, but... Oh my god, I almost... he almost killed me. That was rip, man. He was doing the double 360. I would have fucking died. It was so bad. Okay, it's still gonna be like really scuffed up for phase 2, I think, because we got a Sagar there. Okay, good recovery, I guess. Once he's defeated, we get a huge influx of runes that I put entirely into Vigor, because I think HP is probably the most important stat in the game. You can also kill Alexander here if you want for the Warrior Jar Shard that gives you 10% bonus damage to weapon arts, but again, this is build dependent and not necessary at all.
Except, how could this...
Now, it's off to Mohg, and you're probably wondering how I get to him in the first place so early, as he's meant to be a late game boss. The answer is Varre. That's right, the guy that calls you maidenless right at the start of the game. You can reach Mohg either by accessing his teleporter in the consecrated snowfields way later in the game, or you can do Varre's NPC questline as early as Liurnia, which takes you directly to Mohgwyn Palace. You can find Varre hanging right outside the Rose Church in Liurnia as soon as you beat any Remembrance boss and talk to Enya, the finger reader back at the Round Table Hold. While going to Varre at the Rose Church, I collect the rest of the smithing stones from these gazebos in Liurnia. Alright, are we ready? I'm gonna invade, guys. Varre is really into blood and PvP, and he wants you to invade other players, for which he gives you 5 festering bloody fingers to use.
I believe even worse. That's the... Oh.
There's 2 ways of doing this. Option 1 is to invade the NPC Magnus at the Wraithblood Ruins at Altus. You can either kill Magnus or invade and dip out using the Finger Sever item 3 times for his quest to progress. Or option 2, if you're playing online, you can just do 3 invasions and use the Sever again to complete his quest. That's right, you don't even have to kill the enemy you invade. Once this is done, Varre gives you some cloth and asks you to dip it into some maiden blood.
So, now.
This is why we got the Fort Height Grace, because Arena close by is a maiden. There are a few other options for the Maiden's Blood in case you don't want to kill Irina and end her questline early. And once you kill her and soak the cloth in her blood, he's happy and gives you a ticket to enter Mohg's palace early.
Oh, good heavens.
Once you return to Varre with the soaked cloth, he takes your finger and gives you the pure blood medallion. Okay, now we get the plus 12.
Live on and wet.
Use the medallion whenever you're ready, and finally, it's off to Mohg and the DLC. Crazy. Crazy. Who is he? Who the fuck is he? How many hours have I played this game approximately? Like 3? No, like, I don't know, 2.6 thousand or something. Yeah, I think I have everything. I don't know if I want to. Chat, we have 2 there's no way we sub 45 this time. It's got to be a PB if I first try it, but... It would have to be like an insane fucking Mohg. Did I beat the level 1 run? I never did a level 1 run. I fucking hate this fucking move, man. It's so bad. God, this fucking fight. It's fucking over. It's fucking over. It was still like a slow fight. I didn't get a chance to use that other Bleed Grease. It would have been good if I use it. New PB though, 46.56. What was my last run? It was 49.50 something, right? So like I cut it short by like 3 minutes. That was with like a bad initial invasion. I can also save more time.